Good morning. This is Susan of the North with the overview of the weekly runes for February 18th through the 24th. Sunday's rune comes up as Nauthiz, constraint or limitation. My advice here when this rune comes up is always to look at this problem, the source of the problems, as the resource for finding the solution. Define the problem, perhaps what caused it, and you will see what you need to do to get out of it. Monday's rune flows out of Sunday's rune. This particular rune on Sue's reversed can mean legal problems in daily life on planet Earth. It can also mean a disconnect from one's own God source. When I talk about God source, I'm talking about the energy force that we each of us contain within our own beingness, our physical and spiritual marriage, as it were. When we come into life with a breath, we are married to the physical world until our death, when the breath again releases and goes back to where it came from. So, all of that said, we are an energy field. The scientist Max Planck had the theory of unified field theory, which everything has a force field, a unified field of energy that overlaps. So my energy field overlaps with the rest of the world, the trees, the plants, the planet, my dog, and all of us have a similar story. So our knowingness comes from a higher power, a spiritual source, resource, by whatever name you choose to call it. When this rune shows up reversed, it can mean that we have been disconnected from that source of knowing by a mistaken belief, by misuse of our own energy pattern. It doesn't really matter what it is. If there's a block in the spiritual, or yeah, so this rune today can symbolize, as I've explained, I hopefully coherently, can mean a block in the spiritual energy, or it can mean a contract or something that is going against your best purposes in a legal sense in daily life. The rune for Tuesday, to rectify either of Monday's problems. If it's a spiritual source, reach as high as you can. We can do this through meditation or prayer, getting back into tune or alignment with ourselves and cohesiveness with our environment. We can reach as high as we can intellectually to solve any particular legal problems that came up yesterday or arose from the constraint or limitation that showed up on Sunday. And when we do that, we will be back in the flow, flowing with the energy flows of the atmospheric properties. It just sometimes words elude me because these meanings are so profound and so deep. People talk about the secret, people talk about manifesting, but it's really about being in a positive energetic state that you can call things to you that you need. It just shows up. The divine, by whatever term you want to give it, knows what we need before sometimes we even know what we need. And just showing up, being in the flow of life and going with the flow. And this is represented in Thursday's rune, Berkano, which is a very feminine rune. Yesterday's rune of Laguz could be interpreted to be intuition, feminine intuition. What needs nurturing today? Do you need nurturing, or do you need to provide nurturing today? Whatever the situation is for you, that is what is showing up in an energetic manner with this rune flow. Friday's rune is Gar. This is Odin's spear. Whatever culmination this situation is leading to, whatever questions arise, this is not a rune to ask questions. This is a rune to be present to what is going on. To give a little more depth of information maybe than you need, but it's just because I'm so curious about the runes. The simple X shape in this rune is like the rune Gifu or Gabo, which is a gift. It's a receiving, it's a giving. And the other shape inherent within this rune is Ingu's, that little square shape. Ingu's is like the god Frey. It's about planting seeds, and whatever seeds are planted, they will be nurtured by the rune Gabo. So sometimes this rune means, you know, tons of interpretation. But Odin, with his spear, called forth the warriors who were to attend to him in Valhalla. So I look at it as a fortunate rune to receive, that whatever seeds you planted in a spiritual way will bear fruit over time. And Saturday's rune is Dagaz. This is a breakthrough in conscious being. And what I love about Odin, as I see him, I know he is a god with many names, and many people believe in him, different aspects of his being. But Odin is ultimately a god of knowledge, and I value that. He is a god of consciousness, he is a god of ordered consciousness, of making sense out of fragmented, scattered, wits sometimes. So we'll just take this as a good sign. Breakthrough, conscious breakthrough, and understanding is coming. And this is Susan for the Rune Week of February 18th through the 24th. Have a blessed one.